I should fix my hair. My hair doing crazy stuff. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, September 10th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. We had a big showcase this week, and otherwise a couple video game launches, so let's jump right in. Yeah, so yesterday we had the PlayStation showcase. I don't know if this is like their annual, but I remember last year them doing one kind of early September, so I'm thinking that this might be PlayStation's post Gamescom when they're doing things. They're doing everything the PlayStation does is a couple weeks after it would normally occur. So they had a late June E3 one. Now I think this is their response to Gamescom, but pretty big showcase. Showed off a lot of titles. I won't talk about every single one of them, but I will talk about the ones that caught my eye. The showcase started off really strong by announcing a Knights of the Old Republic remake that I am very excited for. I feel like this has been kind of in the depths of like the video game rumor sphere for quite some time, but it's finally come to fruition, and we've got one coming. So very excited to see that. I looked up the developer Aspyr, and they kind of seem to be the ones that have been doing a lot of the upreses or remasters of a lot of the old Star Wars games, bringing some of them to mobile. So I do kind of trust them with the Star Wars IP. Apparently it's supposed to be very faithful to the original material, but it also will expand on it because it's got that remake at the end as opposed to like a remaster and upres. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the new and exciting things. I haven't played KOTOR in quite some time, so I'm looking for what the big changes will be in this upcoming remake. They also got Gearbox to talk about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, so we get to see a little bit more about what the gameplay would be like, and it is very much, I think in this trailer they actually talked about it like a Borderlands spin-off, which I think wasn't their message prior. I think people were kind of getting lost in the message, so they changed the message to be that this is a Borderlands spin-off. It'll have all the guns and normal feel of a Borderlands game, but it'll have more of a fantasy theme stuck to it. They also announced that the release date, so Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, will be coming on March 25th of next year. So looking forward to playing that in Q1 next year. All throughout the week, we've been getting kind of spoils about Alan Wake and it getting remastered, and it was officially announced at the PlayStation Showcase. So the Alan Wake remaster, which we've been kind of waiting for quite some time, I'm really excited to see this. I think every time we've heard from Remedy in the past couple months, they've been talking about like Alan Wake and more Control games, so very excited to see that this is on the slate. And it's not that far away. It's only coming out on October 5th, so just a few weeks away. Looking forward to that. We get to see gameplay of Ghostwire Tokyo. Noticeably no release date for this, because I know that it has been delayed out of this year. It was originally slated for, I think, October of this year. But we get to see gameplay of like what's going on. I don't quite understand what's going on, but it's very kooky and very strange. You kind of play as this guy who's like slowly disintegrating in Tokyo, and you've got kind of like hand magic powers as you fight off kind of these weird denizens of this alternate reality Tokyo. So very interesting stuff. I don't quite know what to make of it yet, but I am curious as to what's coming up next for Ghostwire Tokyo. Next, we got two Insomniac Marvel games. Blink and you miss it. They had a Wolverine announced, which I actually missed it the first time until people my friend group started talking about it, and then I had to go back and rewatch it to make sure that I hadn't missed anything. But yes, there will be a Insomniac Marvel's Wolverine game coming out, and I'm excited about that. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more grittier. I don't think it's going to be in the same vein as like your Wolverine Origins movie spin-off game. So Insomniac's been doing really good work. They even had the president of the company, or I don't remember who they had, but they had someone talking about just how good Insomniac's been lately, and I'm excited to see kind of what they do with Wolverine. They also announced Spider-Man 2, which will include Venom in it. They had a really good stinger and tease at the end that Venom will be included in the game. And they also did announce a date for this one, but we've got quite some time to wait for it, coming out in 2023. But the previous two Spider-Man games were great, so looking forward to seeing what they do with that. Last but not least, the game I was most excited to hear about and finally got details on was God of War Ragnarok. It's officially God of War Ragnarok. We've all been speculating up until this point, but it is officially God of War Ragnarok. This one of the things that also caught my eye was when they were talking, when the directors and the creative directors were talking. They talked about it ending the Norse saga, so this will be like the bookend to the Norse chapters of God of War, which kind of implies that they'll be going elsewhere, potentially in future God of War games. So I am kind of interested to see where they take Kratos and what mythology they explore next. But I also am excited to have Ragnarok, have Kratos running around. It looked like he had all the same weapons that you know and love. The story seemed a little bit different, that there's like this growing separation between Kratos and Atreus. So I'm kind of really interested to see kind of how that grows up and what that grows into, now that we know that Atreus, also known as Loki. Spoilers for the end of God of War, but looking forward to seeing what happens in the next God of War game. That was all the things that kind of caught my eye in the PlayStation Showcase. There was definitely some titles that I didn't talk about. If you think I skipped any and you want to talk more about them, let me know down below in the comments. Also launching this week is Life is Strange True Colors. This is the kind of third canonical Life is Strange game. So this is the kind of the third big one that that us Life is Strange fans can look forward to. It launched this week. I'm very excited to see that it is at an 82 Metacritic, so I think fans of the series will enjoy the game. And another adventure playing as a teenager trying to solve a mystery with some kind of superpower. And I've been really excited to kind of play this one. It's been on my list for quite some time, so I'm happy to jump into this one this weekend. Also, another launch, again, pointing to Nintendo. I think I always say this every time a Nintendo game comes out, but Nintendo doesn't really care about release dates, and we kind of see that with WarioWare Get It Together launching today. Exciting. I love the WarioWare games. It's been a while since we've had one, so excited to see one coming to the Switch. It's currently sitting at a 76 Metacritic, but I'm not gonna let that bother me. I've already bought it, and I'm gonna be playing it with a group of friends tonight. So I like the WarioWare games. They're very much just a fun party game that you just kind of have to have. Same with like how 1-2 Switch, which is kind of one of those games you have to have if you have a Switch and you want to play it at parties. So I'm looking forward to playing WarioWare later with their a little bit more micro-oriented games rather than the kind of longer Mario Party setting that we're used to in those kind of Nintendo party games. So looking forward to playing WarioWare later. Also in the Nintendo wheelhouse, we got a pretty in-depth gameplay trailer for Metroid Dread, which again launches in a couple weeks as well. The trailer had kind of 5 minutes showing off a lot of mechanics, a lot of what Samus will be doing, a lot of what the enemies you'll be facing will be, and I just got really excited for this. I've been kind of waffling on the fence. I haven't played a Metroid game before, so I'm still kind of very curious of what this one will look like, and I think this one will be the first Metroid game I play, so looking forward to that. The gameplay really showed off just like I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic for kind of the 2D platformer shooting game that Metroid is. So and having it be a Metroidvania being one of my favorite genres, I'm looking forward to kind of getting into the series a little late. So yeah, I'm excited to see more. We've got a really big trailer, so I'll have a link down below that we saw this week. There's finally been a ruling on the Epic and Apple trial. It was interesting enough. I'm thinking it kind of ruled in favor of Epic, but there's some contention on who actually won the trial, if we care about that. But the judge had said that Apple is found not in breach of antitrust. So the fact that the only way to buy things on the Apple Store previously was through the Apple Store, and so or at least buy games on Apple products or any app was through the Apple Store, and the judge ruled that is not an antitrust violation, but that it will allow at least Epic to, you know, sell things or point people towards if they want to buy a different way, in which case Epic pointed them towards the Epic store where they can get V-Bucks for cheaper, but they were paying Epic directly. That is also now been ruled to be allowed. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I feel like that there are pretty big ramifications for this kind of ruling. I know that Epic is also suing Google, so I'm wondering if the judge for that will fall on the same kind of in the same cadence, in which case the App Store is starting to break down a little bit if all of the manufacturers and publishers will just point customers towards their store where they can buy things directly, potentially for a cheaper rate. So could be a race to the bottom to try and get publishers onto your platform, and with platforms as big as Apple and Google, could get interesting. Things keep shaking up. So I'm really curious as kind of how the ripple effects will help other publishers, and what the kind of percentage cuts on the Apple and Google store will be going forward. Once a week, I've got to talk about a weird brand mashup, and this one's actually, I think, a match made in heaven. This one's, I think, a really good kind of brand synergy, and yeah, overall, I think it's a good thing. So Oreo is no longer satisfied just mashing random flavors into Oreos. Now they're gonna mash random character features onto them. So the mashup this week was Pokemon and Oreo are working together to put Pikachu. It looked like only Pikachu, but I assume they got to do it with other Pokemon, right? Yeah, so they're putting Pikachu on top of Oreos. So just to get more young fans who are excited about Pokemon and want some sweets to eat. I think this is actually a really good kind of brand integration. You know, just putting a picture on top of an Oreo is enough to kind of push people towards, not that people weren't already buying Oreos, but I think this is going to sell well and very quickly. So I'd be, for the secondhand market, I would assume that there's all sorts of bots ready to buy those up as soon as they go available online. So interesting brand mashup. Hopefully they have more than just Pikachu on top of them, but even if not Pikachu on Oreos, I think will sell quite well. Pretty sweet Humble Bundle this week. Actually, Humble Bundles run for a couple weeks, so for the next couple weeks, the Humble Bundle will be Telltale focused. So for all of you Telltale The Walking Dead fans, or whoever picked up the Batman Telltale series, both season 1 and 2, as well as Wolf Among Us, those are all available on this pretty cool Humble Bundle that I'll have a link down to. If I didn't already own all of those games, I would buy them in a heartbeat. I always like the Humble Bundles. And the fact that they help contribute to charity, but also give me access to some pretty cool content. Yeah, so Humble Bundle this week will be pretty cool. I'll have a link down below to that as well. I can't recommend the Telltale Batman games enough. I really like those games. I don't think I finished all of season 2, but I really like those games, and hope you do too. Pretty cool indie game that I've been following for some time launched this week. It's called Dice Legacy. It's a city builder, but you roll your dice and then you have to allocate your dice to performing different tasks within your city, and you're trying to stave off kind of survival. You're trying to survive as long as you can to defend your kingdom using these dice rolls. And you're actually like forging dice together. So I've always thought it was really interesting. I saw a little bit of gameplay this week as streamers got their hands on it, but game I'm looking forward to and hoping to pick up sometime soon as well, called Dice Legacy. It's a dice rolling city building game. Both of those are kind of really up my alley for the board gamer inside of me, so looking forward to checking those out sometime soon. Saw another cool article again about an indie game that I was looking forward to, The Veil Shadow of the Crown. This was the audio only game that we saw at ID at Xbox back in August. And I caught an article talking, kind of going into the kind of selling it. Actually, I don't think it was quite a review when I originally read it, but just kind of casting a spotlight on what a cool game The Veil is. And that's been available for a couple weeks now, but I haven't picked it up. So this was kind of that moment where I thought to myself, I should really pick this up because I think that's a really cool game, and I'm hoping to pick that up sometime soon. If you're kind of into the audio only, aspects of playing this kind of blind princess as she defends her kingdom. I think it's a really cool game and a really cool experience, and that's what my friends and I have been talking about in the friend zone, is just kind of these indie titles allow you to really experience different things, and just experience different things that you don't get in kind of the big budget AAA games. So I'm really excited to kind of put my money, vote with my wallet and say that this is a cool project and a unique experience that I'm looking forward to jumping into. Last but not least, we had another indie game that I saw this week called Terror of Hemasaurus. And this kind of, as soon as I saw the first 2 seconds of the trailer with a lizard on the side of a building punching it, I just thought, like, this is a Rampage spiritual successor. I was a huge fan of Rampage growing up. I loved playing it at the car wash and at home when I could play it at home as well. I really loved Rampage. So this new co-op kind of kaiju tearing through the city kind of game looked really fun. So it's called Terror of Hemasaurus, and I'm looking forward to. There's no date attached to it, but I'm looking forward to potentially playing this sometime soon. So if you're looking for a Rampage spiritual successor, or just like an outlet for some destructive feelings, I think this would be a great game to pick up. So I'll have a link down below if you want to check it out. That's it for the week. Quite a lot, but we got through it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. I hope you have a super day. Bye!